Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We've got our new rider here, Claire.
Yes, so I went for some familiarisation training first.
Pre-CBT, I think they call it, don't they?
That's because I haven't been on a bike for 30, 35 years.
What, not motorbike we're talking?
I'm talking about any form of bicycle.
So no push bike?
Nothing.
Wow.
Since I worked it out, it was 36 years since I was last on a bike. So, I rode a bike very well as a child.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. However, I haven't got the balance practice that I would need, really. So I did the familiarisation, and at first, I think I was terrible.
Well, we got a bit of footage, didn't we, before you went in, so let's have a look at that. You can see the true reaction. The day's arrived, Claire.
Here I am.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to kick ass.
Okay, because that's totally different to what you actually said that way here. You said that you were quite nervous. And
I don't want to fly off into the bushes, so hopefully it'll be fine.
What you said was, if you didn't like it, you wouldn't have to do the CBT. And although to be a shame for the channel, you're not under any pressure. You won't be continuing, and you're definitely not doing your full licence. That's what you actually said. Are you getting second thoughts?
No, I'm quite excited about it, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I am.
Is that really?
You've got to try it.
Yeah, you got to try it.
If you don't try it, you don't know.
No.
And that's what I'm thinking. I might hate it, yeah. Actually, I might love it.
Okay. So you found a lovely tutor.
I have a lady called Linda. She's going to help me out with a familiarisation session. So that's what I'm doing today.
You're not going to see much of Linda on here because she doesn't want to be on film, but we can film Claire. She's allowed us to film Claire. So we're going to see just how you get on. Now, what's the plan? Because you've come up with...
I've got one. So the idea today is that I'm going to go on a scooter first to get used to the throttle, because that's something I've never done before. And then we'll do that for a bit, and then depending on how that goes, I will go onto a geared bike.
I'm rooting for you. All I want from this for you is that you have an absolutely amazing time, that you love it. And if you don't, then we'll pick up a different hobby. We can do it. There's other things.
Pick up my stamp collection again.
Take me back to the start then. We've seen what you were like before you went in.
Yeah.
And you were trying to put a brave face on.
Yeah.
But when you first sat on the bike, what bike were you on first of all?
So what happened was Linda suggested I go on a scooter first to get used to the throttle, because I'd never used a throttle in my entire life, ever.
Seems to make sense.
So did that, so I didn't have to get worried about the gears. So onto the scooter, never been on a scooter.
How did you feel about going on a scooter?
Quite exciting, they're quite trendy, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, yeah. I think they're cool.
I'm quite a trendy person, obviously, so I look great on it. But I've never done the throttle before, so of course I pulled the throttle towards me. I didn't even know if you pushed it away or towards me. I did nothing. Remember this, it's really important to remember that. So yeah, so it was getting used to that. So I sat on it, pulled the throttle back, and I seemed to wait forever for the biting point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I expected. I expected just to shoot off, I think, and it was quite loud.
Yes.
I felt it was quite louder than I expected it to be. So I felt like I was revving it, but I wasn't actually. Nice and gentle. And then I just started to go forwards. So my feet were on the ground at first, but I was getting quite good at putting them onto the actual scooter. That wasn't a biggish issue.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did you feel like your balance was off?
I felt my balance was okay. The only issue with my balance was I thought I was going about 20 miles an hour. Right, but it probably was about 2 miles an hour. I don't know, it was very slow. And I worked out, and Linda told me that actually, Claire, you're going a bit too slow. So the bike can't stay upright. I'm going around a corner and I'm feeling like I'm going to fall over. It's not because I'm going really fast, it's because I'm going really slow.
Yeah.
So I needed to resolve that in my mind.
The footage that you can see is from your first session.
Yes.
And that's before you went and got kitted out, because we'd already planned to go to the shop and meet Stephen. Hopefully you've seen that video where Claire chooses her gear. But you'd done the CBT before you went for the gear, the pre-CBT, your first session.
That's right.
So what were the gear like at the training school? Was it
great? Loads of choice.
Yeah.
So when I booked it, I said to Linda, I don't have any gear yet. She said, not a problem. I've got helmets, coats, jackets, gloves, whatever you need. So it was like a bit of a fashion show, really. I went through all the different jackets and helmets until I found the one that was right for me.
And could you find things that fit?
Yeah, not a problem at all. She had ladies, gentlemen, small, large, medium, not a problem. So if anybody was to do the same, there's a selection of items there.
So we know that you've been on the bike, you got your balance and everything. How did you find wearing bike gear?
I was quite comfortable, actually.
Right.
I think the thing for me, what I found the most difficult was the gloves.
Okay.
Because I felt like I couldn't feel the brake. So, because they're quite big, I guess, and they're just like, gloves are bulky anyway for safety, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I sometimes found like I was pulling the brake, but I couldn't feel it. Now that might be because I was expecting to feel the brake like you can on a car.
Yeah. What, resistance?
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, and I learned about the front and the back brake and all the rest of it. So.
Well, that's it. I wanted to talk to you about that because you're on a scooter. So when you first started off, which brake did you use?
This one, the front one. Is that the front one?
That's the back one, I think, on a scooter. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you'll tell me.
I used the one on the left.
On the left?
I feathered it.
Okay. So you were using that one?
Yeah.
But later on, did you not then switch across to the front brake?
On my first lesson, I didn't know.
On your first lesson, you were just doing
focusing on the brake here.
Okay. Talk to me about turning.
Turning was a problem for me. So actually, I could turn right quite happily. Okay, a little bit slow, but quite happily I could turn right. And I could go round and round to the right. So Linda said, right, let's try going to the left. And I thought, yeah, not a problem. I couldn't turn left. I had like a mental block. Oh, and then I made it worse for myself because I was like dreading turning left. No, you can't turn left. And it just took a long time to get out that mindset that I couldn't turn left because I could.
Yeah.
I just struggled with it at first.
What helped you to turn? Can you remember? I could see it.
So what Linda suggested is that I should look where I'm going. What I was doing was I was looking at the cone. I was focusing so much in one spot. I wasn't looking ahead. So the bike was going towards the cone or towards the fence or wherever. But she said, look loads in advance. And when I looked round, of course it followed me then, eventually. Now sometimes, a few times, I forgot, it's terrible, I forgot to look ahead. I was too focused on, where I was going. But when I looked ahead, the bike followed me. And that's a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You told me this, that you had it, and I didn't understand. Being a car driver, why would I really, really get that? I didn't.
What was interesting to me, though, is that you said, you did it easy.
Yeah.
But you've forgotten what I went through. I weren't turning my head. It does come second nature. So if anybody's going through what Claire's going through, give you the same advice. It does get second nature. But at first, you have to think about every single thing.
Yeah.
And you forget about every single thing. You go back to early videos on this channel. I were in that car park after my CBT, and I still couldn't turn a bike. It's quite scary, really.
Yeah, that is.
But I couldn't turn the bike. I'd forgotten. That's when I went in that mud patch, because you get that target fixation. You're looking at where you're going and you think, I've got to avoid it, but the bike won't move it. I don't know if you felt the same thing as I did. It's like the bike will
I couldn't
not move.
I couldn't move it left. It would not move left.
I think it's really interesting that we've got a shared experience.
Yeah.
I know you guys that have been riding for a long time. When I've met some of you, you've said, I remember that, and I'd forgotten that were the case.
Yeah,
but
it's a real thing. And also about the target fixation, we were quite near a fence, which was on the left turn. So every time my bike, I felt wouldn't turn left, I was heading closer to the fence. I don't know if this is what we're going through your head, but I were watching you on that first session. I don't think it was just a fence. There was a sign on the fence, and you could see the sign you were going into. Yeah.
I think you did touch the sign at one time, didn't you?
Touch the fence, is that what you mean?
Well, it's good that you're doing this, because I can ask you the questions that I had in my head when I was starting.
Yeah.
And questions that you've asked me.
Yeah.
Now, one of the big things I think when people start is, what's the power like? I always thought that it was just going to scream out of my hands.
Yeah,
and flip underneath me. Did you have that feeling?
So I thought I was going 20, 30 miles an hour in this car park, but I just wasn't going over 5. But I felt like it felt quite powerful to me.
Yeah.
And people watching this will be like, a scooter? Are you joking?
Yeah, but what we're talking about is somebody that's never ridden before.
Ever?
If you're on a Yamaha R1, and we do get these comments sometimes, so we know it's not an R1, we know it's a scooter. We're learners, okay? So we'll get there if we want to.
You just wait till I'm on my R1. But yeah, it felt really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt powerful to me.
Yeah. So, and did you feel like it were ever out of control?
Never.
That's interesting.
Did you think yours was out of control?
No, not at all. But did you feel like it would be before you did it?
Yeah, if I wanted to stop or if I was turning left, for example, and I thought I was going too fast, I thought, oh goodness, quick, hand off the throttle.
Yeah.
And I did that a few times. I just took my hand off.
Yeah.
Probably didn't need to do that in hindsight.
Okay.
I could, even in the corner, could have put a bit more throttle on to get me around the corner, probably.
Well, cornering it causes a lot of problems on this channel, so I'm not going to go into the cornering thing.
Followed you here today in the car, but I'm watching your movements.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's his clutch. Oh yeah, that's his brake. And I know what you're doing now, whereas before you were talking to me and I was smiling and it was all great, but I didn't really understand the fixation you were talking about. I was like, what's he on about?
Well, that's a good thing, I think, for the channel, because you now understand a bit more about what's happening. And
this is a lot more complicated than the scooter. But the theory is the same, isn't it?
It's just the same thing, you know. It's just, you've got to take things a stage at a time. And, you know, I think this is brings us to a nice point in the story. So you've had 2 pre-CBT sessions.
Yes, I have, yes.
So that was the first one.
Yeah.
So Claire's quite an optimistic person, and she's bubbly and she's all sunshine. But after that first one, it weren't really sunshine, was it?
No, I thought I didn't want to do this. I'm not a natural biker.
You had a lot of doubt in your mind.
Yeah, very negative.
I think there were some points in that first session, I could tell in your eyes you were about to walk away from it.
I was a bit upset. Yeah, I thought it was easier. I thought I could do it.
Did you feel frustrated?
Yeah, I did.
Why? Because
I think because I can drive a car quite well, very confident, and I accept it's a different thing. But I was a bit disappointed with myself, upset with myself. You know, why can I not turn this bike left? Doesn't make sense.
If I know that you don't really listen to me anyway, but
what did you say?
I think what you felt, but what it looked like, were 2 different things.
Okay.
When I did my CBT, there were 3 of us, and 2 others. There were me and then 2 others. You didn't struggle like those 2 lads trying to control the scooter. But I think maybe your expectations were up here, and then the reality of riding is different.
Yeah. So maybe it'd been different if I'd have had more bike experience. Maybe if you'd not done it, I think because you did it, I understand you had problems, but you seemed to fly through it. But and I thought, Claire, you know, you're going to fly through this, yeah.
But obviously, we've spoken more in depth about it, but what you're going through and what you went through, I totally relate to. It's exactly the same. Maybe, you know, maybe either I didn't tell you about it or I did, but you just didn't listen to me.
Yeah. So what I was thinking was, if you and I have had the same experience, there must be plenty of people out there that have done the same, that felt the same way, couldn't turn left. You know?
Yeah, I wonder how many people have tried it and then just gone, no, it's not for me.
Maybe, it's not persevered.
So although Claire's all sunshine and rainbows and everything else, she did get her head down. But another thing that she does is that she does pick herself back up and keep going. So you did book another session, didn't you?
I'm going to do this.
Now, all that week, you were a little bit, I'm not going to say tetchy, but we had to be careful where we put his coffee mug in the house.
I was sitting on the sofa in my helmet all week. That's a true story.
You were actually?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Just to get used to the helmet.
Okay.
I thought maybe it would make me turn left better.
Well, talking about that, this is now you've got your own kit at this stage, haven't you?
Yes.
One thing that you found felt weird was the back plate in the jacket.
Yeah, although I'm used to that now, but it was like a big heavy thing on the back of my coat. I've never had that before either.
Yeah, so that's, if you're new to this, it's the protective foam or whatever material they use that goes in the back so that it protects your back if you fall off. See, I don't feel mine, I've just felt mine now. But you felt it was stiff.
It's really hard, like a big hard lump in your back, isn't it?
Yeah.
One thing I didn't get, and lots of comments, I didn't get any trousers or jeans, whatever.
Well, we should address that. If you want to know really the honest truth why Claire didn't get any trousers, it's because she's a bit tight with money, and if she can save,
It's because I spent money on everything else. It's because total naivety. I didn't think I needed them. I thought, well, I've got some jeans on. Do I really need them?
Stephen knew that Claire was just going around the car park, okay? He knew the stage that you're at and that she wasn't going out on the road. But I think you've thought about it since.
Yeah, I'm going out on the road soon. So I'm going to get myself some trousers, everybody.
So, and that's better, I think.
I feel better for myself. Now that I've been on a bike, I understand it more. On the road, I think, I should get a bit of support. I've got everything else, so why not have the trousers? It doesn't make sense.
Stephen will tell us a lot more about it, but if you're thinking of getting into this and you're new, I know that the guys that already ride know this, but normal jeans, they don't cut it. If you come off at speed, they get shredded.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But in biking jeans or trousers, it's not just the textiles or the leather that they use, it's also they've got padding in there to protect you on certain areas.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went back.
I went back.
What was the first thing that you said to me on the day that you went back? Do you remember?
This is my last lesson.
No, you said, I don't want to do this.
Is that what I
You
said?
didn't want to do it, did you?
No.
You didn't want to do it. And I said, so just so that everybody's clear, I said, just don't do it then.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I know that we're following Claire's story, and if it ended there on this channel, that's where it ends. That's just how it is. There's no pressure for you to do it, is there?
I know this, yeah.
You know, it's Claire that's putting pressure on herself, really.
I want to get a little bike.
Right. But you didn't that Monday.
That morning, I hated it, yeah.
Didn't want anything to do
However,
with it.
the lesson was much better, Andrew.
Well, it was, but there might be a reason for that, because you made one request, didn't you? Can you remember the request that you made?
No.
You said, so can you do one when I'm doing my lesson?
I said, could you just give me an hour just to focus without the filming, because, I wanted just to focus a little bit better, which I think is a valid thing. Yep.
So, got to respect that. So there's not much footage from the second session, and that's not because it didn't go very well. It's because we wanted Claire to get tuition, proper tuition.
And I loved this lesson. It was brilliant.
You did love it, didn't you?
I got into the swing of it.
Yeah.
I relaxed a lot more.
So what started to happen then? Why did you start loving it?
Just came together. I got on the scooter at first, went round, fine. Did some figure of eights, quite good. Bit dodgy on the old left turn, but better. I started to think to myself, Claire, come on, you can do this. And it just kind of, and I followed round, and it just kind of happened. So I did some figure of eights. We set up some roundabouts, so I went round the roundabouts, a little bit wide on the odd occasion. And then we did some U-turn in the road. Now, I was quite good at the U-turn in the road. I did it wide and then narrower. So, shoulder, off I went, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's because it got not easier, but it started to click a little bit more.
You feel like you got less to think about?
I've got loads to learn. I totally accept this. I'm just so new. However, I felt it was coming together in my mind a little bit. There's a lot to think about, isn't there?
So one thing I suppose that we need to talk about, did you ever feel scared when you were riding a scooter?
No.
Not scared?
I didn't feel scared, that's the wrong word.
So what was it then?
I just wanted to do well.
Frustration, do you think?
Yeah, I think I just thought it would be easier. It's a scooter, Claire. It's not that complicated.
It's just that there's a lot to learn.
Yeah, it's all in different places.
There's a lot to think about.
Different areas.
Okay.
The indicator's a little button that you press. But what? That isn't like that on a car.
No.
I think I just thought it was on here somewhere.
So what's the plan now?
The plan now is I'm going back next week, and I'm going to go a couple of hours in the car park, but then I'm going to eventually go on the road.
So how do you feel about that? Because you said to me on Monday, there's no way I am ever going on a road.
Well, I just hope there's not many people around. I've thought about it. I've looked at the time. It's just after rush hour, so I'm hoping people are at work.
You see,
Going
this
to
is
work
it
that
now.
day.
Totally relate to this, because you start micro-analysing everything.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, schools will be in by then, so there's no school traffic.
Yeah. Well, this is it. You've forgotten that when I started, there were roads that I wouldn't go down.
Yes.
There were roundabouts I wouldn't touch certain times a day.
I get it now.
Then you're looking up at sky, it's like, oh my God, what if it starts raining? And then it's like, oh, it's going to be windy. And then the ice comes. The ice, that's the only thing I'm not riding.
I get it now, yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. But you start to think about everything and any eventuality. But the reality of it, and we saw this on the channel, is I got a certain route to work, and that's the only one that I would accept to go. And there was an accident, and I had to change my route.
Yeah, you were like heartbroken, weren't you?
I went heartbroken. I was bricking it. That's what I was doing. I had to go around a roundabout. It was busy.
Yeah.
Everybody else was going. I was totally out of my comfort zone, and that's one thing that biking does. It'll take you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But then when you've crossed that line, well, you just get better. Hopefully you get better.
Yeah.
Are you worried about going on the road?
Yeah, I'm worried about it because I find when I'm in my car now, I'm thinking about, pretend you're on the bike, and I've put my throttle on, like on the steering wheel, I'm pretending I'm on the throttle, and I'm looking around, and what would I do? Oh, this is quite a tight roundabout. Would I get the scooter around this roundabout? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm doubting it myself as I'm driving around the road, pretending I'm on the scooter, which is a bit ridiculous.
No, it's not. I don't think it is.
I'm thinking about the bike. Oh, I'd do that, and I do your looks, which I don't do in the car as such.
But you won't. This is one thing that I think you'll find as you get more into it. One thing that I found, being a car driver, if you're in a closed car park and you've got all that experience, your brain says, well, there's no point looking because there's nobody here. But you've got to force yourself to do the looks because you're pretending that there is. But when you get out on road, guaranteed, you'll be looking everywhere.
Don't worry about
You'll
that,
be like, whoa, you'll be looking a lot, you know.
Yeah. So how am I feeling now? I'm feeling a little bit nervous about the road. However, just go for it. Just do it.
So
I'm just going to go for it.
Is that your advice then for people thinking about it?
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple of comments from ladies saying that they were nervous about doing theirs, that they wanted to, they were interested, but they were a bit nervous. And I think my response to that would be is do what I've done and had a familiarisation session. Have a pre-CBT session to see if you like it or not. Have a couple to see if you like it or not.
I think in the family we're all quite surprised that you're doing this.
Well, my family are mega shocked.
Because Claire's not the type of person, you're not into motorsports. Like, I was talking to Linda, your trainer, and she did stock car racing. So motorbiking, it's not that far away from it, is it? But you're not that type of girl, are you?
I've been a bike for 36 years, just not my thing.
It's not your thing. You're not. I mean, you've had nice cars, but not motorbikes.
I've got pink stripes on my helmet. Do you know what I mean?
Well, listen, I'm really pleased for you. We're going to see where it goes. You might do this next bit and love it still. You might not. So Claire's story, we all hope that you'd go all the way, but if not, we've given it a crack.
That's right.
There's no pressure, is there?
I want to do it, so let's see what happens, eh?
Yeah. Well, I'm really pleased for you. You look like you're enjoying it.
I do, and I'm looking forward to seeing Linda again and for us to do a bit more next time.
So thanks for watching. Let Claire know your thoughts on this. Keep her going. She loves the encouragement, actually, don't you?
Yeah, and remember, I am new. Please don't send a comment as if I'm, Valentino Rossi. I'm not.
We know this. We know where we are in things. That's just how it is. So, let's try and keep it positive.
Not scare me too much.
So, thank you so much for watching. Coming up on the channel, we've got some news on the Kawasaki. So there's going to be quite a good video that tells you everything that's going off with that. And then we're going to do something about the Royal Enfield and how we fed over winter with all the salt on such a chrome beast that it is.
Beautiful.
It is. Anyway, that's all coming up, so we'll see you next time.
Have a good week.